Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
I was discussing this in I gave a little lecture here this afternoon to some NCC youths who had come. And I was saying how everyone comes here for darshan of Balaji, but this temple is situated at the gateway to Tirumalai, and here you should get darshan here, because darshan means seeing. Everyone goes, they think, I will see Venkateshwara, Venkatanath, so many names, Srinivas, Balaji. But another meaning of darshan is tattva gyan. So you should come here to get the tattva gyan, by which you can actually see Srinivas. Otherwise, if you don't understand who he is, then you'll think he's some sacred lump of stone. So I was explaining how the mission of ISKCON is to teach Bhagavad-gita all over the world, and in this way do the best service for India. Best service for India is it's true, but it's a very small part of the mission of the Krishna conscious movement. It doesn't compare with going back home, back to Godhead. But because people have no idea about going back home, back to Godhead, then we say things like best service for India, or make America glorious by preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. Prabhupada used to say. So at the end, one of the supervisors, the older man there, he started to ask a question about how in Bhagavad-gita Krishna teaches Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. But before he could finish asking the question, I interrupted and said, actually you don't understand Bhagavad-gita. And as I often point out, most Hindu homes have Bhagavad-gita in them, but very, very few Hindus have any idea what's in Bhagavad-gita. Therefore you should take Bhagavad-gita as it is to understand that in Bhagavad-gita Krishna only recommends Bhakti Yoga. He said that all the paths lead to God, karma, jnana and bhakti. But I said no, bhaktyamam abhijanati. Only by bhakti you can know what Krishna says. Then I'm just giving a summary here now of what I was saying. And now I'm just saying in a summary what I said in the class there. He also asked that you see what would happen if everyone just did bhakti and didn't do karma. Something like that. He didn't actually get to the point of asking a question, but I stopped him before you. So I pointed out that this is a misunderstanding of what bhakti is. Bhakti doesn't mean to hide in a cave and just put your hands on some beads. Bhakti doesn't mean to hide in a cave. Doesn't mean that. Almost lost all your brahmacharis there. If they'd thought, they would all be up on the Saptagiri and finding some cave. Maharaj said. I pointed out the most famous sevak, Bhagavat sevak in history is Hanuman. And of course, nowadays he's a Chiranjeevi, so he's still around and he's doing Ram Nam Japa. You didn't know that? You know what Chiranjeevi means?
Yeah.
So he's still there, doing Ram Nam Japa. Ram, he's here. Wherever the name of Ram is chanted, he comes. But he's famous for fighting on behalf of Lord Ram, as is Arjuna. Arjuna, he fought, he told Krishna, I accept what you're saying, he fought on Krishna's direction. His fighting was not karma yoga, it was bhakti. Bhakti, within bhakti there is activity and there is knowledge. But the karma yogi, he works without a clear concept of who is Krishna or of surrender to him. So activity in Krishna consciousness can also be called karma yoga, because it means activity which is yoga yukta bhavaja. It is linked in Krishna's service. But it's not the same, it's quite different in quality to the karma yogi, the karma yoga of the karma yogi who doesn't act clearly in bhakti. So here in the purport, Prabhupada says that the activities of the yogi are distinguished from that of an ordinary person by his characteristic cessation from all kinds of material desires. So this I pointed out to that man, that a person in Krishna consciousness works and a person in material consciousness works, but there's a difference in the purpose and the attitude. I gave the example of building this temple. Building this temple and building a shopping complex or an apartment block, it involves almost the same activity. One has to make economic calculations, raise funds, and deal with the contractors and the mazdurs and all this kind of stuff. Mazdurs means laborers, for the sake of the Russian translation. So it's a lot of difficulty is taken in doing so. But the purpose for which a person builds a shopping complex or an apartment block is quite different to the purpose of one who builds a temple for the glorification of Krishna. So the activity is similar, but the purpose is different, and the result is different. By building an apartment block and becoming very attached to it, you run a severe risk of being born again in that apartment block after you die, maybe as a rat or a cockroach. This is what happens. People become attached to a building, and so they come back again. Once in Stockholm, Sweden, devotees were showing Prabhupada a new building which they had rented, which they'd just taken it, they hadn't done anything with it. And they opened one door and a rat ran out. Prabhupada said that was the owner of the building in the previous slide. And because he was so attached, he came back again like that. Another time he was talking about, you're seeing people have the picture of their deceased father on the wall. They don't know that he's a cockroach in the commode. Cockroach in the toilet. Latrine. Whatever you want, there's so many different words. But by building a temple for the glorification of Krishna, according to Shastra, one never takes birth again in this material world. A temple is a replica of Vaikuntha. So by establishing Vaikuntha on earth, then one is transferred to Vaikuntha. Again, we have to see what is the purpose and the attitude. It's also possible to build a temple in materialistic consciousness. In Hyderabad, one Marwari man, he built a temple of Hanuman and made himself the head pujari. And then he put a sweet shop outside and circulated rumors that by offering sweets to this deity, you could, the Ladu, Hanuman, that all your wishes will be fulfilled. And it's a great business, and it's still going on. I don't know if he's still there. So, he's not going to get the result of bhakti because he's not performing the activity in bhakti. When we go before the deity, we make some prayer. We ask the Lord to bless us by fulfilling some desire. So, usually when I come for Venkatanath Darshan, then I pray as Srila Prabhupada has taught us to pray. Some prayer for improving service, completing some service, making advancement in devotional life. All these are typical prayers that devotees who are on the path of pure devotional service, they pray like this. And usually I think that, I hope the Lord will be pleased with this prayer. Because thousands and thousands of people are coming every day and praying, please improve my bank balance, please improve my business, improve my health, get me a visa for America, or whatever they pray for. Pass my exams is very common. Before the exams, so many students are coming, isn't it? So that's better than being, it's many, many times better than being an atheist. But it's still a long way from pure devotional service. In our Krishna Consciousness Society, we are preaching pure devotional service to Krishna. At least we're supposed to be preaching pure devotional service to Krishna. But people may come for different reasons also. That people may see there's a big building, maybe I could get a place, solve my economic problem. It's a big institution, a lot of money is floating around. Maybe I could take advantage of some of it. One devotee was telling me that he came back from America, and in the temples, the brahmacharis, some of them were asking, can you arrange for me to go also to America? So those who come for pure bhakti, they will get pure bhakti. Those who come for going to America, well, maybe the next one. Maybe this life also, you never know. It's foolishness.
It is murkata.
Murkata. Great foolishness.
The Mahamurkata.
Mahamurkata. It means they didn't understand one word in Prabhupada's books. So, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the performer. That's what distinguishes a devotee from a non-devotee, or a genuine devotee from a mixed devotee. Quotes here the description of Maharaj Ambarish, how he performed devotional service. Savai manah Krishna padara vindayoho. First of all, he fixed his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. But if our mind is not fixed on Krishna, then it's going to be wandering in Maya. And even though we may perform the other activities, Karo Hare Mandira Marjana Adishu, cleaning the temple of the Lord, that will not be done with the spirit of bhakti. That will be done with a calculating mentality. What do I get? What's my material benefit from doing this? Bhakti means never to think what I will get, how I will benefit in any material way. Bhakti means to do everything only for Krishna's pleasure, even at the risk of spoiling one's own material situation. So everything depends on the attitude with which it is done. Otherwise, if we're not fixed on serving Krishna, then it won't actually be service. If we're calculating how much we get, then it's a kind of business deal. And then we may think that, well, I could do something else. If I can get more money doing something else, I'll do it. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur described, he'd seen a notice, probably in response to his own strong preaching, that one professional Bhagavatam speaker had put up a notice that if I could get more money by sweeping the street, I would give up this Bhagavad speaking and sweep the street. No love. Where there's calculation, what I can get, then there's no love. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also described Padma Niti. Padma is the mother of Kamsa. There are various Padmas. It's also a name for Lakshmi. But so she thought that if an account was made of the work Krishna does by taking out the cows, and how much endeavor is put, how much it costs to feed him and everything, and if it was presented to Mother Yashoda, she would reject him, because it costs more to look after him than the value of the work he does. Can someone explain that? She has absolutely no idea of what is the love of Mother Yashoda for Krishna. It just shows how materialistic people, what is the basis of their love. That means she's thinking if Kamsa, if I didn't get all my needs from him, I would reject it. So she's thinking Mother Yashoda, she will also reject Krishna. But there's no question of Mother Yashoda rejecting Krishna. It's not possible. Nor can Krishna even in his dreams reject Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda is prepared to go through unlimited difficulties to serve Krishna even in the slightest way. And she doesn't want anything back from Krishna. This is the nature of bhakti. And that is the attractiveness of bhakti. Whereas love in this material world is just calculation, that's all. So many times we see when a young man joins our ashram that their mother develops a serious disease which can only be cured by his going back. One devotee from Chennai, young man, brahmachari, well, he joined a temple outside Tamil Nadu in Maharashtra. Serious illness, and there was tremendous pressure, and he went back. She said, I just want to see him at home, that's all. I just need to see him because I'm so attached to him. I just need to see him every day. Then after some time he got a job in Bangalore and she didn't see him, but she didn't mind. So it seemed like tremendous love, but it came down to this is love in the material world. The materialist is always calculating. That is also summarized in the statement of Shukracharya to Bali Maharaj. He is supposed to be the guru of Bali Maharaj. But Shukracharya was living, he was a materialist, and his mode of living was to get donations, or he was maintained by Bali Maharaj. So the advice he gave to Bali Maharaj was how to improve Bali Maharaj's material position. And by his advice and guidance, Bali Maharaj's material position increased to that, the highest one could have in the material world. He was lording over the whole heavenly sphere and the lower sphere. Then he realized that this young boy, but this Vaman, this dwarf, he's actually Vishnu in disguise, and he's going to take everything away. So then he asked, or he put the question to Bali Maharaj, Sarvasvam Vishnave Dadva Murham Bhatishyate Katam. If you give everything to Vishnu, then how will you maintain yourself? How will you go on with your life? With the implied question, how will I go on with my life too? So Bali Maharaj, his very name, Bali, means offering. Killing the animal is called Balidan. So it's an example of giving himself fully, Atma Samartha. He is the best example of that. He has shown what it means to give everything to Vishnu. Sarvasvam, same thing he said. Sarvasvam Vishnave Dadva, giving everything. So he had full faith that by giving everything to Vishnu, he would not be the loser. He would be the gainer. But his calculation was not a material calculation. He thought that by giving everything to Vishnu, I can gain the satisfaction of Vishnu, the favor of Vishnu, which he considered more valuable than literally everything in the world, because literally everything in the world was in his possession. Whereas the materialist, who is symbolized by Shukracharya, thought that it's not worth to give anything to Vishnu unless by doing so we can get something back more. Material calculation. People give large amounts in the hundia to Vishnu, Srinivas, but it's calculation. I'll get back more. And if it doesn't work, then I'll become a Muslim or an atheist. We've seen many people like that. You see, I tried this and I tried that and I tried this and I tried that. I tried Krishna Bhakti also, and eventually I went to Amma or Baba or something and it worked. So that's it for me. Whatever works, you see, I tried. It's like a lottery. I tried this one, I tried that one, I tried this one. This one worked? Okay. That's it for me. What do I get? So actually, if you want material development, it's quite possible. By going to Sai Baba or some Amma or something, you can get. It seems to have some Shakti. Otherwise, why so many people are going? That is not their Shakti. That's Maya Shakti working through them. We don't recommend going to them because material advancement is useless and temporary anyway. And particularly because they are envious of Vishnu by usurping the worship that is meant for him. If you go to them, you will go with them to hell. Sure, 100% sure. They can talk about love and all this kind of thing. All these people are going to hell. So the very severe offense of usurping the worship that is meant for Vishnu. So one has to be very careful in spiritual life. Shurasya dhara nishita duratyaya yogang patistat kavayo vadanti. It's like a razor's edge. It's difficult to go path. It means one can easily be misled. If one gets the right path, then you can very easily go to Vaikuntha and beyond. Beyond Vaikuntha means Golok Vrindavan, not some imaginary impersonal liberation. But if one falls into the clutches of some cheater, who are so many of them, then you'll be cheated, and the result of cheating is everything will be spoiled. So we have to see, what do we want? Do we want material development or we want spiritual development? Material development is completely useless. It's just illusory. You have a big house and a big car and so many things, and then you become a rat or a dog or a cat. What is the meaning? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jataraishan. So many people know this verse. No one takes it seriously. They just recite it, that's all. As they go on their path of punarapi jananam. They're saying it as they're going along. This is stated to wake us up that don't get born again, fool. Einstein is celebrated as such an intelligent person. He was a fool. Not only he is a fool, everyone's a fool. Because they're simply interested in this material world. Ask the proper questions. What is the purpose of life? Why are we born again? Why do we have to suffer? Who is God? What is our relationship? People give great respect to people who help us to increase our sense gratification, for instance by the advancement of science. It's just a distraction as we march on the path to repeated birth and death. It's difficult to think of anything more foolish than coming to this movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which offers the wonderful path back to Godhead, and thinking how by coming to it I can increase my material situation, how I can improve my sense gratification. But Maya is so strong. So many wonderful temples of Vishnu have been built by great acharyas for the worship of Vishnu. And they're being utilized for the sense gratification of the priests who think that this is my job and I get the income. And then I can have a nice TV and everything. They have fixed hours and all this. With what great devotion these temples were built for the glorification of the Lord. But now it's taken as a darshan factory. Therefore, everyone should come here. Get tattva gyan before going. Darshan by tattva gyan before going there. Understand actually what it means to come close to God. We go for darshan, we come very close to the Lord. But we can be standing close physically, but be totally separated by our consciousness. It's like people are coming now, the curtain is open, they're coming close. They're not interested in hearing. You cannot see the Lord by this eye made out of blood and flesh. One can only actually see Him when one is purified by hearing about Him. So many people say, I went to Tirupati, I went to Srirangam, I went to Guruvaya, I went to Udupi, I saw so many. Would you like another cup of coffee? And they're saying as they're telling you. In Kanchipuram, just outside the Varadaraj temple, we saw Brahmin's Coffee Club. That means that you see they can't take coffee from the lower caste people. That's what I guess. So they make it themselves as very pure, you see. So you can say, I went to this temple, that temple, but you didn't, what was the effect? You went and you came back and your life is the same. So what is the use actually? If you've actually seen God, then your life should be changed, isn't it? So we can understand 50,000 people a day are going to see Balaji and no one sees Him. Actual seeing means Premandana Churita Bhakti Viloch. If one's eyes are tinged with the salve of love, then he can see the Lord everywhere, even without going to the temple. That doesn't mean you should, anyway. Say that. So going to the temple is good, but we should understand what is the purpose. In temples, there is a system that after taking darshan, you should sit down. Before you go, you should sit down. So I understand from this that originally this means you should sit and hear some katha, spiritual knowledge. Otherwise there's no what's the purpose of sitting down? But it's just a formality. People sit down and they go. And who's to speak spiritual knowledge anyway? The priests don't know anything. So these temples of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, the main purpose is not just making another place where people can come and look and go away. They should hear and learn and understand what is the science of Krishna consciousness, so that their activities in this world will be reminiscent or in the line of those of Yashoda and not of Padma. Yashoda looks after Krishna very nicely. And Padma does also. Every mother looks after the child. Not in the modern age. The women go to the office and the child is just left and who knows. Normally, in a less demoniac civilization. So Padma looks after the child and Yashoda looks after, but Yashoda has pure love and Padma is calculating. He will grow up. He will keep me, maintain me. Maybe she wasn't calculating on having her husband arrested by her son. But the point here is the attitude is quite different. The karma or the karmi is working, the devotee is working, but the purpose is completely different. So we should see what do we want? We've come here, what do we want? What are we doing this for? If we chant with Anya Abhilash, then we won't get Krishna. If we chant with other desires, then those desires may be fulfilled, but we won't get Krishna. For devotional service has to be Anya Abhilashita, Shunya, free from all other desires, except those to serve Krishna as He desires to be served. This is the message of Bhagavad-gita. But people who approach Bhagavad-gita with Anya Abhilash, they don't find that. They find that Krishna teaches karma, jnana, yoga, they're all the same. And probably karma is better. Therefore, the preaching of Bhagavad-gita as it is required. We should distribute the books. We should also know what's in the book and be able to present that to others. If we only distribute the book but we don't know what's in it, we won't be distributing the book very long. because we'll consider it a materialistic activity, and materialistic activities don't give satisfaction. But it's also required that devotees can explain it, because it is deep subject matter, and to a materialist, even reading Bhagavad-gita as it is, most people, you can't really catch the meaning of it without someone to help explain it also. That's why we ourselves have to hear regularly, imbibe the message, and then we'll be competent to explain it to others. Hare Krishna. Is there any question about this?
He saw the Lord.
Duryodhana. Not Duryodhana. Duryodhana.
He saw the Lord, he knew that Krishna was God.
He saw the Lord, he knew that Krishna was God. Not really. Only devotees can know that Krishna is God. Only devotees know what God means. Even we see, people say God, God, so many people say God, they don't have any idea what it means. He showed his Vishwarup, but Duryodhana just thought it was some Sai Baba trick, that's all. He thought it was just some magic show.
So my question is, even at the time when he was lying on the battlefield dying, he told, I enjoyed the nice kingdom, and now again I'm going to struggle to enjoy it as I die, etc. He never repented for whatever he did.
Yeah.
So this quality, he was nothing but killing the cows. So the same greediness we see, removing the life in so many ways, the real teaching, not caring for anything, government, neither the school. All these people will ever accept teaching.